So it's a beautiful morning here in Hokianga, where John and I live. Just starting to get hot. So I want to tell you about our Kumara. So this is our Kumara patch for this year. So I'm just going to pan around so you can see the different Kumara. So we grow our Kumara in beds in the garden, and each bed's about 1.2 wide. And we do 2 rows of Kumara. We kind of mound it up slightly, do 2 rows of Kumara, kind of offset along the bed. You can see instructions about that on our website. And one of the things to say here is that in Hokianga, the pattern of weather is that we get very wet winters and very dry summers. So you'll see the beds are on contour, and that means that any water that does fall gets caught in the paths and oozes down to the bed below. It doesn't just run off, and that helps a lot. The other thing to say is that we get problems because we have such mild winters. We get quite significant problems with perennial weeds that sneak along under the Kumara if we're not careful. So we have cardboarded and sawdusted the paths with non-treated sawdust, and then as the paths disappear, you'll see that the path there has kind of disappeared. The cardboard and sawdust suppresses the weeds, and then it means come the end of the season when we harvest, we don't have a huge problem of very weedy paths. So I'm going to tell you about some of the varieties. So this one's Mahina, which is a very prolific white Kumara. And then the next one down is Romanoa. Now, for some reason this one's not growing as strongly as usual for us this year, but it was pretty much the last one to go in, and it was already quite dry by then. So I've given this one a bit of extra watering as the season goes on. So we've got I think we've got 12 varieties of Kumara in the collection, all different colours. We're not growing them all here, we never grow all of them here in one year. Joseph Land is our kaitiaki of the Kumara collection, and so he's got them all growing at his place. Here we've got, I think, 7 varieties this year. So this one's Rekarawa, which is a beautiful white Kumara. Here we've got Maikio Red, and then Maikio Gold. They're both early commercial varieties that Joseph Land has grown for over 30 years on his property in Whirinaki, and they're beautiful, strong growing, prolific Kumara, do great under an organic system. And then the last one here is Candy, which is a very heavy cropping, bright pink Kumara. Really bright pink, you can see why they called it Candy. It's very beautiful.